Breaking news! Welcome back to Humanities News. Today we will jump in with our environmental anchor, Sadie Davis, and discover the truth. Is the GCU Mail Center harmful to our environment? Are we all doomed? Let's find out the truth. Sadie, fill us in on what's going on.
Thanks for that, Malia. I am coming to you today as an insider, a GCU Mail Center employee, and we are going to go take a deep dive into the Mail Center to see how such a well-run and sophisticated establishment could be slowly harming the environment in the long run. Let's go take a deeper dive and see what's going on. Welcome to the GCU Mail Center, the place on campus to pick up any packages that students or faculty receive. There are thousands of packages delivered here every single day, and after years of readjusting and perfecting the system, it is an organization that runs smoothly and thoroughly as it can manage the boatload of various packages and mail received, as well as the eager students that flood the door each and every day. I'm here live outside the Mail Center on campus, and now that we're here at the source of the problem, you may be asking yourself, what exactly is the issue? Well, I'll tell you, it's the amount of paper waste on a daily basis here at the Mail Center. And that a student comes to the Mail Center to pick up a package, they walk and give the attendant their student ID number, and then wait to be called up. From an insider view, as an employee, we see a ticket print in the back with the student's name and the package location on it, then we go scout the package out, bring it up front so it can be delivered. After that, what happens to that little ticket of paper? It's thrown away. Every time someone comes to get a package, a ticket is printed, and then it's thrown right away. Now, from a glance, it may not seem like that big of a deal with what's going on here, but when you take a step back and look at the numbers in the bigger picture, the amount of paper waste here on a daily basis is astronomical, and it's harmful to the environment. In January of this year alone, the Mail Center delivered about 37,000 packages to the students here on campus. This is approximately 50,000 packages a month, and for the 9 months that the school year is open, that is 500,000 packages going out every day to the students here on campus. This means that 500,000 paper slips are being wasted in a year at the Mail Center. Let's use some visuals to represent these mass amounts of waste. On average, one tree can produce about 10,000 sheets of paper. The measurements on the average paper slip are 3 inch by 3 inch, meaning that one sheet of paper can make about 8 slips. This means that the use of one tree alone equates to about 80,000 slips of paper used by the Mail Center. Because the Mail Center averages 500,000 slips per year, we could save nearly 7 whole trees a year by reducing the paper waste at the center. Let's take a look at another visual. The entire GCU campus is about 300 acres, with a perimeter that's about 400,000 inches long. This means it would take about 135,000 slips of paper to wrap around the entire campus. With the amount of slips used in 1 year at the Mail Center, they could wrap around the entire campus perimeter 4 whole times. This is an insane amount of paper waste. These numbers project the use of nearly 3 million slips of paper over the next 5 years at GCU. Clearly, the numbers here explain themselves. But what can we do to come up with a solution? Well, let's go back to the news station and take a closer look at some possible solutions.
So, Sadie, what are some possible solutions to this problem? How can we reduce the paper waste at the Mail Center?
Well, Malia, that's a great question. The best solution that I came up with to this problem is by completely eliminating paper in general. This way, we would switch to a completely electronic system that would make it so that we didn't have any paper waste. As a Mail Center employee, we are each provided with a work phone that used every single day. We use them to process packages, store the given locations, and to deliver the packages to customers. Then we get so that we can keep a log of everything we receive and do in all one place. A system called Q-Track is a special system designed specifically for the Mail Center, making it something that is not only very valuable, but is also adaptable. As you can see, these phones are a great resource. Since we already use Q-Track for everything else at the Mail Center, all we would have to do is request a software developer to create a new program that would allow us to run for packages as we go instead of using paper. This way, there would be no more paper waste at the Mail Center, and then it would be even more convenient because it would all be on the work phone.
A solution that can completely cut out the problem should be considered. What would the budget look like on a project like this?
Well, Malia, that's a great question. Let's take a look at that. The Mail Center has an abundance of phones, and we already have an organization system that works perfectly for us, so there would be no physical cost needed. The only thing that would cost money would be a new software program, which would probably cost about $500 to $600, just depending on who coded it and how long it took and how complex it was. But that being said, $0 plus about $550 means that we would need a $550 budget for a project like this. Once the program is developed, then it will not cost anything more. When you compare this to the cost of about $20 per box of receipt paper, and we use about 2 boxes per week, it'll pay itself off in about 3.5 months, meaning in the long run, the mail center will be saving money and saving the environment. Creating so much paper waste is completely unnecessary, especially when it all just ends up in the trash at the end of the day. It only adds to GCU's major trash issues, and it is an improper use of our resources. As people, we need to have responsibility for our environment and take charge to help it while we are still able to.
Well, Sadie, this all sounds great, but there's only one problem. What happens if they run out of phones, the batteries die, or they stop working for some reason? What will you do then if the whole system is down? Won't you have to resort to paper anyway?
Malia, that's a really good point. And it's funny that you bring that counter-argument up because that exact circumstance just happened the other day. Let's take a look. Last week, the entire electronics system went down when I arrived at work. This means that we had to do everything by hand, only using paper. Because even while we are still using tickets every day, if the system is down, the printers don't print. So we still had to use paper for every package, plus doing it all by hand. The amount of paper used was adding up quickly, but it wasn't any different than the typical amount used. After about half an hour, the Q-Track system being down, we contacted our support team and got it up and running again, and we were back to our normal flow. So Malia, I see your point, but the thing is, the tech rarely ever goes down at the mail center. And when it does, even right now, while we use all paper, we still have to adjust and change to the problem anyway, so it would be no different. I personally think that 1 to 2 days out of the whole year where we have to use paper is a lot better than using it 24/7 every day of the year and racking up these numbers like crazy. There are always going to be potential issues that arise, and every time we're going to have to adapt to them, but that's just something that you do as a business and a company that runs efficiently. Day of paper waste does not nearly amount to the constant waste that is currently happening at the mail center. Dropped slips litter the floor of the garage after a long day, and we throw thousands of pieces of paper away each and every day, even though we have a solution right now. All in all, we can see just how beneficial it would be for GCU to ditch all the paper waste and switch over to a fully electronic system. Saving nearly 7 trees a year, thousands of dollars, and creating a more efficient system in general are all self-explanatory reasons on why we should make this transition. I just hope that my community, not just within the mail center, but within GCU as a whole, is able to come together and put the environment first for once. Thank you. Malia, back to you.
Well, folks, that about covers it. What do you think about the paper waste at the GCU Mail Center? Are you convinced that it's worth it to make the switch? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humanities News.